Hi, I'm Carolyn, the Teen Librarian, back again, this time to talk about summer reading. Now, we are just as excited as you to finally get things back to somewhat normal around here. So that means we have in-person programs again. You're welcome in the library to use our computers and our collections as much as you want. And of course, we have summer reading. Now, summer reading is the same old program that you have come to know and love, where you read anything, anytime, anywhere, and you just log in how many minutes you read, and we give you prizes for it. It's that simple. So what you do is you make an account on cromaine.org, click this summer reading banner, and then type in how many minutes you read. Keep track over the summer, and for every 100 minutes you spend reading, you will get an entry to win a gift card for Amazon or Big B or Target, any $25 gift card you want, or you can choose a prize pack. So the more you read, the better your chances of winning. Get your entries in between June 1st and August 5th, and our computer will do a random selection of the winner. But remember, the more you read, the better your chances. Speaking of reading, check out some awesome book suggestions to help get you started. 2020 was a stellar, spectacular year for teen publishing. There were so many brand new authors and interesting, unique takes on stories that it was really hard to choose which books to put into this book talk. One of the big things I noticed, though, was this big twist on reality. People would take our modern everyday lives, but add a little bit of magic or a little bit of drama or a little bit of dystopian, and they created something really awesome and unique. And no book did that better than A Lat's Away. This book won a ton of awards this year, and there's a really good reason for it. All right, so A Lat's Away is a story about a girl who has the power to bring back the spirits of animals from the dead. In this world, it's a pretty unique power, but everybody pretty much has some sort of power. A Lat's Away's power oddly let her communicate with her cousin moments after he was murdered. Now, everybody in her family knows her power, respects her power, and believes her, and believes that the person her cousin named in her dream is actually the murderer. The problem is, how do they prove this? This is an amazing story. I love this book, could not put it down, read it in one entire sitting, and you are going to do the exact same thing.
Hi, my name is Sydney. I'm in 11th grade and I will be talking about American Royals by Katharine McGee, which I would recommend for ages 12 and up. So American Royals is about an alternate America where George Washington was crowned king rather than the presidency that we all know today. And it follows the stories of 4 girls, the 2 princesses of America, Beatrice and Sam, and 2 girls that have close ties to the royal family, Nina and Daphne, and all the drama that surrounds them being connected to the royal family in some way. And I would definitely recommend this book because it's a page turner that is basically impossible to put down, and it does not fall short on the drama whatsoever.
They Both Die at the End is set in a world that's exactly like our own, except technology has evolved to the point where it can predict your death 24 hours before it's supposed to happen. It's supposed to give you time to say goodbye to your loved ones, get things in order, but for some people, it can be a very lonely 24 hours. These 2 boys end up getting this phone call, and they decide to meet together and spend their last day together. This is a great book. It's being turned into a movie that's being written by the author, so it actually has a chance of being good. But seriously, this is a great book to read if you like a little bit of dark in your books. Legendborn has this epicness to it that kind of reminds me of the Mortal Instruments series. It's about a girl who gets early admission into a college. It's kind of like this hybrid high school college program. And it's a college that her mom did not want her to go to, but her mom passed away recently, and so the main character really wants to discover this connection with her. What she ends up discovering, though, is that her mom was part of this elite group that has ties to Arthurian legends and can see things that other normal people can't, and she passed this power on to her daughter. This is a great fantasy read. Perfect for anyone who loves City of Bones or any story like that.
I'm taking Richard. I'm doing a book review on The Blackthorn Key by Kevin Sands. This book follows Christopher Rowe and his best friend Tom Bailey as they have to solve a mystery in London. If you like clues and adventure and mystery, then you'll definitely like this book. I recommend this book for all ages, but probably around 11 and up.
If you want to get into manga but are not exactly sure where to start, I would highly suggest Fruits Basket. So, at first, you think it's this really cute story about a girl who happens to discover that some of the people at her school have this very strange ability to turn into animals from the Chinese zodiac. And it seems like really cute and fluffy at first, but then you realize that being able to turn into animals comes with a huge price. It comes with chains, and it is considered a curse by everyone who has this ability. So, this series is all about discovering the nuances of this curse and the individual reasons of why everyone wants to break it. So, if you're looking to try a manga, maybe you don't want to go like the violent route, but are looking for something that's a little more sweet, I would definitely go for this book. But be prepared because this series can pack an emotional punch. Everything Sad is Untrue is beautifully and brilliantly written. It's the story of a refugee from Iran who's now living in Oklahoma, and he's basically trying to piece together the memories that he has of his childhood, of fleeing, of living in a refugee camp, of what it's like moving to a new country and going from having a lot of prestige and power in Iran to being made fun of on the school bus in the US. This story is incredible, though, because it weaves together mythology. So, if you're into mythology, you're going to love this book. And it also weaves in all of these different fantasy elements and stories, basically trying to recreate this kid's life in sort of a fantastical way. It has been given pretty much every award you can think of, and it easily deserves all of them. We have a great mix of in-person and online programs happening this summer, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about them right now. So the first thing you should know is we have this art and writing contest that's going throughout the summer. So it starts June 1st and it ends July 30th. Basically, what you do is take our summer reading theme, Tales and Tales, and make something that's just inspired by the theme. So you can write a story or create a piece of art, whatever you want to do. And then we will share your stories and photos of the artwork with the public. Artwork will be displayed in the library throughout the month of August, and then people are going to vote for which is their favorite. And the person that wins just gets money, free cash money. So this is great for any creative writers or any artists who are looking to maybe work on a project this summer. We also have this interesting thing that's just for teens. It's called My Library Quest. Basically, a bunch of libraries got together during the pandemic and came up with this online scavenger hunt where players can go to different library websites, find different clues, and solve a mystery. And there are over 150 other libraries in the state of Michigan who are also participating. So if you want to kind of check out other libraries, see what they're up to, try this My Library Quest, complete the quest, and then you get prizes at the end. We have a couple in-person programs going on and some kits as well. So in June, we have some life hack programs going on. The first one is called Teen Financial Literacy, and it's all about the basics of financial literacy that maybe you want to know about but never have. This is one of those programs that came directly as a suggestion from a bunch of our volunteers. So we'll go through everything that you need to know about the basics of money. And if for some reason we don't cover something, there are 3 different sessions and you can get your questions in and your questions answered. So we're going to frame this around college, what spending money is like in college, how to do so responsibly, and then kind of setting up for after college. We'll define some basic investing terms and teach you things like the difference between credit cards and debit cards, what is a credit score, all those kind of interesting things. So if you are interested in learning a little bit about money, this is a 3-part series that's happening Tuesdays in June. And if you can only make 2, that's totally cool. You'll still learn a lot. Another life hack program we have going on is employment for teens. And we've actually got someone coming from Michigan Works, which is a career advice group. And she is going to tell you how to get and keep a job. So everything from like how to write a really good resume, even though you might not have a lot on your resume yet, how to nail an interview, all this kind of stuff that you might want to know if you're interested in getting a job for the summer or maybe beyond.
Hi, I'm Ella. I'm going to be talking about the book Renegades by Marissa Meyer. She also wrote The Lunar Chronicles, if you know that series or have read it. So basically, this book takes place in like a sci-fi-ish world where people have superpowers. So these people are called prodigies, and there's kind of two main groups, if you want to think about it like that. There's the renegades, who run everything. So they are the government, the council. They're very held in high esteem by the people of the society. And then there's the other group of the anarchists. So these are people that they're kind of underground, they're the villains, they want to basically overthrow the government. So that's kind of where the plot goes, is the anarchists want to stop the council, and because they don't agree with the council's doing, they don't like the laws, they want anarchy again. And our main character is actually a part of that group, which is kind of fun. So I really like this book. I love the way the side characters are established. I love the personalities of every character. I think it's a really good plot. It is the first book in a series. I have not finished the series. I'm super excited to. I feel like plot twists. I'd say read this. It's insane. So yeah, I hope you check it out. I think you'll really like it. Bye.
Girl Serpent Thorn is about a princess who was cursed from birth through no fault of her own to poison people. If anyone touches her skin, they will become poisoned and die. So this is the story of a girl who, even though she is a princess, is ultimately the monster in her own fairy tale. So when her kingdom comes under threat, how is she supposed to save them? This is a great book for die-hard fantasy lovers. Dune is one of those must-read sci-fi novels for like everyone out there. What Star Wars is to sci-fi movies is what Dune is to sci-fi books. Okay, so this is a very complicated and complex story, but the author's son and a couple other people got together and created a graphic novel version, which is much easier to understand and sort of get into the world of Dune. So this is the first book, and it is highly, highly recommended for any guy or anyone that is very into science fiction.
So this book is called The Mysterious Benedict Society. So it's fiction. I don't know, probably 10 and up to, but it's about these 4 kids who have these really cool, awesome talents, and they meet this guy who needs their help, so they help him and they go on this awesome, crazy adventure to this academy. I would recommend it because it's a great book and it shows what kids can do.
The book Fable is about a girl who's left by her father on this unforgiving island. And after she discovers some treasure, she has to make a hasty escape. And she ends up joining this crew kind of by accident, who may be up to no good, may have a secret connection with her father. She really doesn't know. But what she does know is that she's about to go on some incredible adventures with them, all with the goal of finding her father and trying to figure out why he left her alone for years. This is a great book for fantasy lovers, and the sequel just came out.
Hi, I'm Nancy, and the book I recommend is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. This book is about a boy in a futuristic world where everything is done through virtual reality, and in this virtual reality there is clues to find to unlock the keys to get the fortune of the person who created it. And a boy who finds the first clue and then has to go on the adventure to try to find the rest of them before like an evil corporation who is hunting him down gets them. It's a very interesting book. It's an interesting way to mix like fantasy and sci-fi together. I'm not a huge sci-fi fan, but I loved this book because it has a lot of adventure in it as well. I recommend high schoolers to read this.
We also have some creative things happening in June, specifically craft kits. These were a big hit during the last year, where basically we give you all the tools and materials you need to make something, and you can make it at home whenever you want. So our first craft kit for this summer is going to be an art and writing journal. Basically, we'll give you a journal, we'll give you a ton of ideas of things that you can do with it, and some random supplies. You can use these journals as basically a creative outlet or to keep yourself organized all summer long. Another kit that we have going on this summer is also by request. We have a lot of people really interested in gardening, and so we've created these kits where you can make a little flower pot that you can place in your bedroom, and then we'll give you some seeds and you can watch your plant grow throughout the summer. Another really fun program that we have going on is Paint Explosion. So if you've never done a messy paint sort of thing at the library before, now is your chance. You come in clothes that you are not afraid to ruin because you do everything like paint with your feet, paint with squirt guns. Like basically the messier the painting, the better. It's really fun. A couple years we've done paint slip and slides. We might break that out again this summer. So yeah, if you just want to have a creative mess meltdown, then Paint Explosion is the perfect program for you. We have another program that I'm really excited about. This one's happening virtually because you get to kind of do this along with our presenter. It's a baking program. So we're going to have an expert baker share one of their tried and true recipes with you. And what they're going to do is bake along with you at home. So they'll show you exactly what they're doing. So set up your phone or your laptop in your kitchen, get all your baking supplies together, and join us for this baking program. We'll give you a list of ingredients that you need before. Then you can bake along with everybody else and see where they are and if you nail or fail this really fun recipe. We Are Not Free is a stunning, stunning book about what it was like during World War II when all of the Japanese American citizens, most of them born in the US, never having visited Japan before, were forced into internment camps. This book is incredible, not only for its history, but for the way it's written. It's told in multiple perspectives, and every character has their own voice and their own incredible, complex story. This is a masterclass in writing different voices and different characters, and should be required reading for like every human being on the planet. Elizabeth Acevedo has written some incredible books. Seriously, every single one of her books has been a bestseller, award winner, basically all around awesome. This book, however, is her best thus far. It's called Clap When You Land, and it's about two girls who are connected through a plane crash. They both lose their father in this tragedy, and it's about how their lives intersect, even though they live in two completely different countries. This is a brilliant book. It's all written in poetry, and you can tell the person who's speaking just by the way the stanzas of the poetry are written. It is an amazing book, really fast read, and you are guaranteed to love it.
So this book is called Finding Orion, and it's a fiction book, and it's probably for ages 10 and up. But it's about this boy named Orion who has two sisters, and his dad invents and delivers jelly beans, and his mom works with stars. And one day this clown comes to deliver some sad news, and they have to go on this crazy hunt. But I'd recommend it because some points are funny, some are sad, and it's kind of just all around a mystery. You're trying to figure it out with them.
For those true crime lovers out there, let me introduce you to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. This is the story of a girl who chooses to solve a murder for her giant senior project. It happened years ago when she was much younger, but she does still have a connection because it happened in her small town and involves some people that she knew just on kind of the periphery of her life. Everyone is convinced that the murderer is dead. However, the main character does not believe so. And her suspicions start to seem correct, especially after she starts getting threatening messages telling her to drop this case or else. This is a great book. I could not put it down. I had to know who the murderer was, what happened in the ending. There's twists and turns and red herrings just like any good mystery, and this is the perfect book for all of you true crime lovers to read this summer.
Hey, it's Allie, and I recommend the book Out of My Shell by Jenny Goebel. It's a fiction book, and I recommend it for kids 10 and up. This book is about a girl named Olivia who her parents just got divorced, and she has a little sister named Lainey, and the mom, Lainey and Olivia, decide to fly down to Florida to stay with their grandparents for a little while. And during this, one night, Olivia sees the sea turtle come ashore, and she looks like she's about to lay her eggs, but she decides to turn back. Olivia finds out that this is because of a light from a hotel which repelled the sea turtle. And so in this book, Olivia has to just fight for what's right. And through all this, she has to deal with her parents' divorce. It's a very good book.
For those of you who love the book A Child Called It, this is your next read. It's called Fighting Words, and it's about two sisters, ages 10 and 16, and the abuse they endured and how they are trying to recover from it. This is an intense book, but it is brilliantly written so that anyone of any age can understand what they're going through and how they are trying to put their lives back together. Highly, highly recommended. If that's still not intense enough for you, then try the book Hey Kiddo. It's about a kid whose mom gets mixed up in drugs and crime and all of these other issues and ends up just leaving her son in the care of his grandparents. This is a true story of the author trying to discover who his mom is through her letters, the short visits that she had with him, and how he grew up in a world that was often shaded by darkness, which you see throughout the book in his art. This is a great graphic novel that has been the talk of the graphic novel world since its debut. All right, so I think the best program that we had last year was our teen book club. This online book club is an absolute blast, and it's half because you get to read things that are really outside your comfort zone, things that you might have never picked up before and absolutely loved. But the main reason why this is such a fun program is all the people who are involved. They come up with the funniest comments. We have spent entire book clubs just like in tears because we were laughing so hard. And then there are some book clubs that we go really deep and philosophical with, and I end up thinking about what we were talking about in these book clubs for days after we wrap it up. So the books that we are talking about this summer are Keeper of the Lost Cities, that's our June book, and then our July book is Unwind. Both of these books are great. We're going to have a lot of discussion about them. And what you do is you sign up for them on our Cromaine Library calendar. You pick up a book at the library. I actually give everybody a copy of the book that we're reading. Then you can take it home. It is yours. And then read the book and then join us online for this book club. If for some reason you can't make these book club meetings, don't worry, we've got you covered too. So we have something that we just came up with. It is called Vandalize Your Book Club. Basically, it's a book club for people who love writing in their books. It's actually really fun because there's something kind of like bad about writing in a library book. Don't worry, these are books that you can totally write in. So we have a group of 9 books right now, and you check one of these out like you would a normal book, and then you can write in them. So you can underline, highlight favorite passages. You can leave comments or draw little fun doodles that kind of express how you're feeling at a moment in the book. And then you turn that book back in just like you would when you're done. What's really cool about this book club is other people can then pick up the book that you wrote in, read your thoughts. You can write questions to them and come back and find their answers. So this is a really cool way to engage with different people about a book, even if you can't make a traditional book club. They're found in the teen room under the windows. So go to the teen room, grab one of these books, and start vandalizing.
Hi everyone, my name is Caitlin Schramm and I'm here to do a book talk. I enjoy books that are romantic, they have a thrill and the excitement, the characters really get you involved and they help you understand what they're feeling. The book I just finished reading is called Coming Up for Air. It is an amazing story about how to handle playing a sport and having a relationship with someone else. That book really just taught me perspective and how you need to realize what's more important to you and how to handle the pressures of playing a sport and having a boyfriend or girlfriend. I hope you guys read the books and you enjoyed as much as I did. Please stop by the library soon and check it out. Thank you.
Tweet Cute is the perfect fun summer read. It's the story of two high schoolers whose families run food businesses that are kind of in conflict at the moment, and they are both in charge of their businesses' social media pages. And so they keep tweeting each other back and forth without knowing really who the other person is. This is a really fun case of mistaken identity and balancing schools with the pressures of your family. It is the perfect quintessential summer read that will just make you smile the entire time you are reading it.
Hi, it's Allison, and I recommend the book Secrets and Scones by Laura Remington. It's about a girl named Scarlett who finds this kitchen next door, and it's like almost magical. Like, it just has this very homey feeling, and she makes all sorts of delicious things, and it's a fiction book, and it's actually in a series. I would recommend this book for ages 11 and up.
The book Charming as a Verb is the perfect summer rom-com. It's about a guy named Henry who's trying really hard to get into Columbia, and he kind of like fails this interview that he has with an alum. So he starts making stuff up, and he gets discovered by Corinne, who uses him as a way to try to boost her popularity before they both graduate. The question is, how far are these two willing to go to achieve their dreams? This is a fun, fluffy summer read that is just perfect for laying on a beach and enjoying a good book.
Do you think I'm an automaton, a machine without feelings, and can bear to have my morsel of bread snatched from my lips and my drop of living water dashed from my cup? Do you think because I am poor, obscure, plain and little, that I am soulless and heartless? You think wrong. I have as much soul as you and full as much heart, and if God had gifted me with some beauty and much wealth, I should have made it as hard for you to leave me as it is now for me to leave you. I am not talking to you through the medium of custom conventionalities, nor even of mortal flesh. It is my spirit that addresses your spirit, just as if we had both passed through the grave, and we stood at God's feet, equal as we are. If you love this, you're going to love Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Recommend it for ages 16 to adult, and it's a gothic romance, and you should definitely check it out if you're an introvert.
And one last thing, if you are interested in volunteering this summer, applications are available online and in the youth department. So feel free to read all about volunteering, fill out an application, and turn it back in by June 1st. This year, we also have something new. It's called Fast Pass Volunteering. It's for those people who don't want to make the full volunteer program commitment and instead just need maybe a couple hours to fulfill a requirement. All of this information can be found at cromaine.org/give. Again, this is Carolyn, the teen librarian from Cromaine Library. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation, and I hope to see you all this summer.